Mr. Yocum came in my house with a can of spray paint and started spraying spots.
Was there any plan?
There was no plan, Your Honor. There was no plan.
You need to have plans that are approved by the code. So she's right.
She's not right, sir.
This woman here did some sort of shiesty, low-down stuff.
This man is a fraud. Several times he's approached me inappropriately.
Plaintiffs Maureen and Robert Tansey say they've been living like cavemen thanks to the defendant's shoddy work. They're suing for $3,000. Defendant Robert Yocum says the plaintiffs are crumbs trying to get something for nothing. He says he doesn't owe them a penny.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Case number 235 on the docket, Tansey versus Yocum.
Okay, we have the plaintiff, Mr. and Ms. Tansey, and you are suing the defendant, Mr. Yocum, for $3,000 for what you say is an unfinished kitchen remodel. I'm going to hear from you first, and then I'll come to you.
Great.
Yes, sir. I hired this man
Yes.
to remodel my kitchen.
Yes.
And he got in way over his head. It was a major remodel. I'm talking ceiling, walls, flooring, new cabinetry, siding.
Of the kitchen?
Windows, doors. Yes, sir. The first day, this was mid-March, he started the job. The first day he came with 3 workers. Everything was wonderful. By the end of the day, when they were finished, the wall was down, the other walls were down. Everything was great.
good.
I was so happy.
Okay, very good. Case dismissed. It sounds like everyone's
Sounds
happy.
good to me, Judge.
When does it turn bad?
When it came time for the electrician to come. My husband and I had a friend who was an electrician. So we made arrangements for him to come to my house and do the electrical work. He came and he said, okay, where's the plan? So that I know where to put the receptacles. There was no plan, Your Honor. There was no plan.
They had this hillbilly electrician come out to do nothing. That's the whole reason we're here today.
My electrician knew it all.
Came in suspenders, buck teeth.
You knew nothing.
Okay.
I'm trying to polish a turd here on this show. Like,
Okay, whoa, easy. Okay.
this is crazy.
Mr. Yocum came in my house with a can of spray paint and started spraying spots on the wall and the ceiling. Said, okay, put a receptacle there. Put a switch there, put a receptacle there. The electrician said, no, that's not how it's done. You have to get a permit for this, and you need to have a plan. There are codes that must be followed.
Was there any plan by anybody what the kitchen was to look like?
He never gave me a plan, ever.
By anybody,
Ridiculous.
but didn't you put a plan on what you wanted the kitchen to look like?
Okay, we went to the cabinet place.
Yeah.
He gave measurements. They were off. If I had ordered those cabinets, they would have ended up in the middle of my back door.
And you paid him how much?
$3,000 we paid him.
Okay, and you're suing because you want that money back.
Yes, sir, because we had to hire
But
a
he
new...
he did some work.
Yes, sir.
He did.
I know, I'm going to get to you.
Okay.
He did demo. And he also put in brick around my chimney. When we hired the new contractor, he said, this has to come out because there was not enough room for egress. The code says you have to have a minimum of 32 inches egress going to your door.
Yes.
He had the island here, and in between where he put the brick and the island was only 23 and a half inches.
So this is,
That's my back door. That's that was the other door that he installed. The other door that he installed also had to be ripped back out because it was too large. It opened up the wrong way. It opened directly into the cabinets. It had to open the other way. He put no header on that door. His worker did install that window. That's the new door with no header.
The work isn't complete.
No, sir, it is not.
You need to get a permit. You need to have plans. So she's right.
She's not right, sir.
Well, okay, tell me why she's wrong.
You're my idol. Thank you for having me on the show, Judge.
Thank you.
You are the man. I love you. Thank you.
Okay, and the
So
defendant
happy to
wins.
be here. Hey.
Hey, you already did that for me.
Yeah, I did that.
You
for
already did that for me,
I'm so easy.
So
I
first and
go
foremost,
whoever
Judge,
smiles. Okay, back to the case. Seriously.
I'm not licensed in that matter. I'm a contractor. There was no permits needed for anything that I've done.
In other words,
Excuse me,
who
Your
you
Honor,
hired?
there was a permit needed for him to move the door.
So you're saying a contractor doesn't need a permit, but the people that actually do the physical work, they do need a
Correct.
permit.
Correct.
But what about the door? Who's responsible for
I
that?
took down a partition wall, so there is no minimal egress in that room. See, they hired me as a professional and they didn't allow me to do my job, Judge.
Okay, what happened?
So they hired me to come out. This is a small job, a very minute job. I do big jobs, celebrities, you know, and I came in and tried to do them a favor. Out of the $3,000 that they gave me, okay,
Yeah.
I did a lot of work. I demoed. I was doing the electrician's work. Their electrician, the
not
reason I
true.
came out
That
with the
is
spray
not
paint.
true.
Let me speak, please. I came out and spray painted because this guy had no idea what he was talking about. They wanted me to, I had to do his prints for his permits. I'm not a licensed electrician. I did it as a favor to Luke because his brother works for me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So I was going out of my way. Rob, come rip down the ceiling. My electrician, he doesn't run wires. He won't poke holes and run it with the glow stick. You know, it's crazy.
All
And
right.
I did way more than $3,000 worth of work, too.
No.
I had 2 employees out there, payroll.
Okay, where are your pictures?
And, Your Honor, after we had the problem with the electrician, he disappeared. He never came back. A month went by and he
Sir,
never
I was there the
came
next day
back.
with my own people. They were so cheap when I brought 3 different
before
plumbers and 3
judges?
different electricians.
Okay.
They tried to
No,
tell me
you
it was
did
too much
not
money.
bring
Okay,
3
okay,
different
if you
plumbers.
hold it, if you hired him as a contractor, why couldn't he use his own people?
His contract was for labor only.
It's right here, Judge. I have it in the
And
text
it
messaging.
says
in the
labor
description.
only.
Okay, so these are the pictures of the work you did. This is the before?
This is before. And I can give you a description of everything that I did do, Judge. This is when I had to rip out the electrician because the guy was too incompetent to be able to fish wires through the ceiling. He made me rip down the sheetrock, which Luke offered to pay me extra money on top. The original job was $10,000. $3,000 was a deposit.
Is this the work you're doing? I want to see what
So I
you-
started to brick the chimney. She's
Okay.
talking about cabinets and an egress. The door is 10 feet away. It makes no sense. They have no idea what they're even
There was
talking
an
about.
island.
Okay.
I ripped down sheetrock lath, asbestos insulation, paneling, cabinets, sinks, plumbing, partial. I took down a partial wall, capped their electric, capped their plumbing, removed 6 foot of baseboard heat, trim, removed the door and window. The work that I did do was framing, installed a 36-inch door, a new window, bricked the fireplace, purchased the materials, payroll for 2 guys for 3 days, plus my time, then give my contractor discount at Home Depot and a few other places locally that I deal with. They probably saved $3,000 just off what I saved them.
All that brick had to
The
come out
audacity.
because there was an island.
I gave him the brick for free as a favor because the brother works for me.
It doesn't matter, it had to come out.
What would the whole project be worth?
Normally $20,000.
How much were you willing to pay for the, because the 3,000 apparently was the...
Deposit.
Deposit.
Yes.
So how much was it going to be for? Where's the contract for what it was going to be for?
$9,700.
Okay, so almost $10,000. Okay, so the reality is you hired him to do a basically $10,000 job. $3,000 worth of work was done. Now we got to deal with the question whether he's responsible if there were code violations and the cutting off of the heat, which was in your complaint. How did her heat get cut off?
So I moved the door over 6 feet. I had to chop out 6 foot of baseboard heat. The rest of the house still worked. I had to do that to put the door in.
The rest of the house did not work.
And then even
because
after
he
she told me
cut
she
it
was going to sue me, I still
before
offered to
the
buy her
rest
some
of the
space
house.
heaters.
Okay,
and
wait,
still nails
she's
the
saying
door.
she's not getting any heat.
No, sir.
Don't blame that on me. The house is 100 years old.
No, the house is not 100 years
Your
old.
house, the kitchen ain't been updated in 50
He
years.
cut the heat at the kitchen, which is the supply to the rest of the house. My grandson, my 7-year-old grandson, was waking up in the morning saying,
How-
Mom, I'm so cold.
Okay, how much does it cost to get the heat back on?
I don't know.
Yeah, yes, sir.
After that, he disappeared.
Okay,
Right.
he's here. I found him.
Yeah.
I was there in contact.
Okay, hold on.
His own electrician wanted $2,500 to do the job.
Very reasonable.
Okay.
It's a one-day job. My
Okay.
electrician is not a hillbilly person. He's doing it for $1,000, and they're approved. His permits
Okay,
were approved.
okay. So it sounds like everyone is starting to be where they want to be.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, the only question left, because you're going to get the kitchen you want to get, the only question is the work that he initially did, a lot of which you already said you liked. The first day, I was ready to dismiss the
The
case.
demo, I loved.
Okay, well,
I
you can't
loved.
have you can't have this without a demo. I'm on her side on the turning off of the heat, because it's certainly not their fault. What does it cost to get your heat turned on again?
It's $2,500 for the job.
This is my permit with my plumber that's $1,650 that was going to do the whole entire job, start, finish to end.
You mean the
So
heat-
they're willing to pay someone else.
That's
That's the plumbing.
uncle
That's the heat.
who
That's the
made that
baseboard
up.
heat. And the heat is not off. It's just a section,
The
6
heat
feet. It's
is
capped.
off.
It's not off. I
It
started the
is
job in
Wait a
spring.
second. They
You
would
cut
know
the
that.
heat to my entire house with a 7-year-old living in my
I
house.
offered to buy you space heaters
who
even
was
after you told me you were going to sue me.
Oh, no.
Even after you told me you were going to sue me, you told me I was
Hang on,
ridiculous.
sir.
I'm going to give you $1,000 for fixing the heat. So I find for the plaintiff in the sum of $1,000.
Hang on. Remain at the stand.
Beware. Make sure you get their licenses, make sure you know who they are before you give them any money.
Thank God I got out of the whole deal with them. Just the crummiest of the crumb people. The house disgusts me. The filthiest house I've ever even been in, to tell you the truth. They're just out to get paid, you know. That's what people like that do.
Plaintiff Tim Maxberry says his girlfriend's friend is a low-down shyster. He's suing for $300 for an unpaid loan. Defendant Javon Mitchell says the plaintiff won't stop making unwanted sexual advances on her and uses her as a personal chauffeur.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes.
This is case number 229 on the docket, Maxberry versus Mitchell.
Okay. And welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
We have here the plaintiff, Mr. Maxberry. You are suing your girlfriend's former friend, you said.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes.
And you're suing her for $300 for an unpaid loan.
Yes, sir.
Why don't I hear your side first, and then I'll get to you.
First of all, I'd like to say good morning, and it's an honor seeing you again after so many years of being the mayor of Cincinnati. I remember that.
Thank you.
I'd like to.
I didn't fix any of your tickets, did I?
No, sir. No, I was fine. But anyway,
Okay, go ahead.
anyhow, I'd like to say that I'm here because this woman here did some sort of shiesty, low-down stuff in regards to borrowing some money from me.
Explain that.
Well, back in December,
Yeah.
I loaned her $300, and she borrowed the $300 and said she'd pay
Was
me
I
back.
shiesty when you was making inappropriate remarks to me
okay.
every time
I'll tell you
Phyllis
what.
turned her back?
Yeah.
Look at her and look at me.
Sir.
See, look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
Don't
First
say
of
I
all,
ain't your
ex-drug
type.
addicts, okay? I don't do
trying-
what
all
you
right,
look
okay.
at.
He's
Yeah,
got-
look at
I'm
you.
not trying to get with you.
Okay.
Please,
fine.
look at you.
I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to get
Okay.
his story, then I'm going to give you, and you can say whatever you want then, okay?
Okay.
So let
So
me get
anyhow,
That's shiesty.
So anyhow, as I said, I loaned her $300 in
Yes.
lieu of her giving me back $400. She said that she was in the midst of moving and she needed to borrow some money.
Do we have text messages about that?
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir. And
Yeah, if you could just pass it
we'll
up
get
as
to
you-
those.
Okay.
And she's been friends with my girlfriend for over 40 years.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I loaned her the money.
Twice that I borrowed $300, not once, but twice. I paid him
Okay,
back
when-
$400.
yeah.
Which is what you
Did
get from a
you-
loan shark, not a friend.
I loaned her the money twice. So on the first time, she gave me back $400. About 3 weeks went by. She said that she needed to buy some gifts for her grandkids and whatnot. So I felt a little bad about it. I had the money. So I loaned her the $300 again in lieu of her giving me back $400 again. And I thought she was a good risk because she paid me back the first time. Well, here comes January. I don't hear anything from her. So I decided to call her and text her. I got no response.
You got no response when you were sitting.
So-
You was in the back of my car going to Home Depot
so-
and the liquor store
so any-
and
Okay,
Walmart and everywhere
I'm
else.
going to give you a chance.
So-
Hold on. I can't wait to hear about these trips. It
So-
sounds exciting. Go
So
ahead.
anyhow, from that point on, from January to June, I heard nothing. So my woman.
Then what happened to you?
Okay,
You get on me and got on my, when you were on my social media page, requesting me as a Facebook friend and write me for drinks. You didn't remember
You're
that?
going to lose the case
Okay.
just by talking.
So anyhow,
Just by talking.
in June, my woman tells me, she says, you wouldn't believe who I spoke to. I said, no, who? She said, I talked to Bonnie. At that point, she said that she was going to come by the house because she's going to take her to the funeral home.
Why were you going to the funeral home?
Because her sister had died.
Oh,
and she,
sorry.
yeah, so
Okay.
So when I went outside, because I hadn't seen her for almost 7 months, her hair was done, her car was shining, so I knew she had the
Well,
damn
in
money.
7 months, she's going to do her hair.
Right. You know, I knew she had the money.
Yeah.
So I said, Bonnie, when do you think you can pay me? Are you going to pay me? She said, yeah, I'm going to pay you. This was like June the 7th.
Okay.
She said, give me a few weeks. So at this point, I figured I better get a paper trail going. So that's when I decided to text her.
Hey, Bonnie, not trying to bug you. You said you'd call me back. Can you please do so?
Got
On the
no-
21st.
no
Bonnie,
calls,
today's
no
the
texts.
21st. me and Phyllis will be home all day. Can you please drop off at least a portion of the 300? Thanks. So I get the point.
Right.
All right. So I get the point, and she hasn't paid you yet.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to hear your story.
This man is a fraud. Several times he's approached me inappropriately, even when his girlfriend was right there. I have a log of how many times I took them on all kind of trips that took me at least an hour and a half to get to Walmart, Home
She'd take me
Depot,
anywhere.
liquor store,
Okay. All right,
Popeyes.
hold on. Let me hold on. Let her.
She'd take me anywhere.
The liquor store.
Yes, I did. Walmart, Home Depot.
Yeah.
The liquor store, Lowe's, several times.
What you're saying, your defense is that I didn't pay you the cash back, but I did these items. When did you write these items down? Before you got here to court?
I know when I drove them. It was always at the first of the month. Okay? It was always at the first of the month. It was every month.
If she took Phyllis
Okay.
anywhere, Phyllis paid her, sir.
What about all the times that we went to Home
that
Depot
had
and
nothing-
Walmart?
that had nothing to do
wasn't
with my
Phyllis,
mom.
and that was
That
just
had-
last month.
that had nothing to do
okay?
with my
So
mom.
she did.
And matter of fact, when you the filthy car seat that you just now cleaned up for me and made when my grandbaby was born. Okay, I took you to Home Depot,
Listen, Bonnie,
Walmart,
I
the
just
liquor
want- I just
store,
want
and
my money,
everything.
Bonnie.
And you asked me to
I
come
just
have
want my
drinks. What
money.
you had?
I
What
mean,
about the Hennessy you invited me?
yeah,
You
I
asked
did
me what
say
I
that.
drink. You said, let's
Yeah.
come go have some Hennessy.
Right.
This is
You
getting
wanted to do
good.
something
This is
different. I
getting
asked you
good.
where Phyllis
What about
was.
the Hennessy?
You said she was sleeping
Listen,
at the
sir,
nail
I
salon.
said this
And you're
one-
not my type.
Okay. Here's the deal. This is what I see from a distance. You loaned her money.
Yes, sir, I
Through
did.
a friend, but you loaned her money. Got it. $300. No
Yes,
one's
sir.
disputing the $300. The question is, she believes that these trips that she takes you on every month, you know, to Walmart, to the liquor store, to whatever it is, the only way that what you did, which is provide a service worth some money, whatever he paid you, didn't pay you, it's worth some money. I get that. But the only way that the services you provided for him can be used as repayment of a financial loan is if the one who loans the money agrees that that can be the substitute for the money that you owe.
It was never an agreement in the first place.
Right.
Okay.
So if he
and
did,
plus I gave him an extra
okay, I'm
$100.
talking now.
Okay.
So if he said to you, well, all these trips that you're going to give me, that will take the place of the $300 that you owe me, then end of story. I dismiss the case. Everybody goes home. But unless there's evidence that he said that all these trips that you're giving him, which are very nice, and you can charge him for them, but on the $300, you still owe it, I find for the plaintiff $300.
Thank you.
To remain at the stand. Hang on.
Bonnie, I don't know what you got up here and start lying for.
I don't know what you start lying for.
That
Say
ain't, I don't want anything to do with it. Or she's gonna come over and stick her hand out again.
I'll never borrow money from a friend again.